start recording, and then we...
Sounds good. It was Jinx, and while she was still a kitten, she had just the sharpest claws, and one time she was just sitting on my chest, and then she jumped in such a way that she caught my face. I still have the scar.
Mm. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats. I love them, but they're assholes. That's what my friend Ethan said once. Oh,
No doubt about it.
apparently the infamous PlayStation loading screen is in 480i. I saw interlaced artifacts for a moment there. By the way, just in case you guys don't know, this stream, all the footage you're seeing in the stream is recorded authentically from real PlayStation hardware over RGB SCART and the XRGB Mini FrameMeister.
Damn right.
And the Elgato is not working, which is not what I want.
Damn, right.
Alright, let's reactivate him real quick. It should be
I was
fine.
just fiddling with my Elgato last night and got that working.
Yeah, sometimes it gets confused. So, that's not what I want at the beginning of my stream, is what I'm telling you. There it is.
Especially
Alright, that wasn't so bad. You guys missed the intro where Spyro flies in. Oh, and fun fact, real quick. Actually, let me add in a little thingy here. Filters. Let's add a gain filter on there.
And also, might I just say that recording on the PS3 with the Elgato is the most roundabout thing ever.
Yeah.
It's like,
You either gotta go the component route, which gives you a smearier image, or you go the HDMI route, and then you have to get basically a pass-through to get rid of the HDCP.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get started here. Start a new game. We could probably overwrite this one, because I don't care about it too much. Okay, so fun fact, this scene right here where Spyro's flying and the text shows up, that's actually in 60 frames per second.
Really? Impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, rolling.
And I turned up the audio for the
It's been peaceful
cutscene.
here in the Five Worlds, or is it safe for a Dragon's Age? We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000? What about this Ganasty Gnorc character? Now I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Gnorc is a simple creature. Simple! He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly. That does it!
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is in 60 frames per second. I found that out on an emulator, basically.
And
As I was experimenting with, you know, hacks and stuff. But let's go free No, it's not Tomas, it's Nestor.
can I just say, that was the entire plot. How awesome is that? Like, the game is so simple that it just throws you in with like a 30-second cutscene. It's like, that's all you need.
I'm going after him.
Games these days that just cram exposition down your throat for like 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So this is Spyro the Dragon, is one of my favorite games on the PlayStation. In fact, I'd say that the trilogy overall are my favorite games on the system.
Easily.
Up there with, like, you know, Symphony of the Night and, I guess the Mega Man Legends games I really liked.
Keep your horns on,
Yeah.
Spyro.
Yeah, for me, I have a list hanging around just because I'm making a top 20. And yeah, no, every single Spyro game like cracks the top 10, and Spyro 3 is my favorite PS1 game of all time.
Yep, I'm in the same boat. That's one of my fagots, as it were. In case you're unfamiliar, that stands for favorite game of all time.
I would hope so.
There you go. Yeah, it's not. I wasn't saying faggot. I was saying fagot.
Oh. See, I try just to avoid saying that like on camera, just because somebody might eventually use the audio for something and then like defame you or something like that. I don't like.
I suppose that's just.
I don't like the idea of. That's why like a couple times I just offhandedly accidentally said the word retarded, and like ever since then I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Not something I like to say.
Yeah, I don't use that word in regular speech.
Yeah.
Mostly because, I don't know. What is going on with my computer? Is it... Damn. I think I'm maybe overloading it a bit. So I'm gonna see if I can't close a few things to lower the CPU usage.
Well, I'm not PC per se, because I'll still swear like a sailor, but there are some places I just don't go.
Yeah. It's Jeb. He's the best one. Everybody go watch Jeb's review of Mass Effect. It's really good. Let's see. I'm going to actually close this. That should free up some space. I'm going to just take that one out. And there, all we have is OBS open. That should help out a little bit. Where's my phone? Where'd I put my fucking phone? Oh, there it is. I'm going to use my phone to watch the stream instead, just to have that. Sorry about that, everyone. Last thing I want is some kind of bad thing happening.
Well, it's good that you're getting this all out of the way at the beginning rather than like halfway through the stream.
Yeah. Streams have always been kind of a...
inexact science.
Issue.
Well, it's good that you're getting this all...
Whoops. You better mute it.
The same mistake I did.
Oh, great. Glad I have to watch advertisements just to turn down the volume on my own Twitch channel. And it's like a 30-second long ad, too. Like, what the hell, guys? I'll just mute my phone instead. Alright, so that's up. That should lower the CPU usage, and then we should be all set to go. So we'll just continue.
Yeah, last week, or sorry, a few weeks ago, I was streaming Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning.
That's Tomas. Oh.
Yeah. And literally the first 20 minutes of the stream was just spent like me just fucking everything up. Like, oh my god, now there's no video signal, there's no sound signal. Now I have to close OBS and open it back up just to make it work. Now I have to. It was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
Much like the game. Ah, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Let's see. Now I can see. Yeah, 480i is okay. Let's see. In the end, who's on your side? Who can you trust? In the middle of the night, where will you be? If you can't find you, there's no place to go, nothing to do. Yeah, why are we singing the Toot Toot Sonic? No, it's not Toot Toot Sonic Warrior, it's the credits theme from Sonic CD Japan. Yeah.
I don't know that.
But, you know. Let's see.
I'm not the most familiar with the Sonic, so I don't know these things.
Oh, really?
I'm familiar.
It would be interesting to hear your thoughts on some of the games then, as you seem to be fairly open-minded. Like if your Star Fox Zero review is any indication.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't know.
I try and give it.
Oh wait, gotta turn off the damn vibration.
I try and give everything a fair chance, just because if it's good or it's bad, regardless of if it's good or bad, it's gonna be good or bad regardless of what everybody else thinks of it.
Game. My guest is Mr. Oh fuck! I forgot to introduce you. This is the Generation Extreme, aka TGX. Some of you may know him through Jay's Reviews, and he is he's a reviewer. He has a channel where he posts a bunch of reviews and other projects. Like right now, he's like doing a thing where he's trying to rewrite the plot to Slide 2 to remove some of the interesting ideas they had towards the end of the game specifically. And he just finished a Star Fox-a-thon. that you guys can all check out, where he reviewed every Star Fox game in the series.
Including Star Fox 2.
And yeah, including Star Fox 2, which I actually have a reproduction card for, so when I get around to doing that, I can just pump it through the FrameMeister and do it right on the hardware. And what's weird is I find it actually plays a little better on the SNES Mini than it does on the original SNES. Because, I don't know, the game was never finished for the original hardware. Like, I don't know, maybe it runs better in an emulator? It's been a while. But, yeah. It is kind of interesting to play it on the OG hardware.
Well, the thing from what I understand is that even the most completed version that is available isn't actually the finished version.
Well, yeah. Well, I heard from my friend Ethan that this whole thing about them wanting to focus on the N64 was just kind of a cover-up. Like, apparently what happened is both games were being developed at the same time, and Miyamoto was so annoyed that Star Fox 2 was so much better than the game he was making that he canceled it out of spite. Which totally sounds like him. I believe it.
I won't deny it. And yeah, like, apparently the head director of the game has stated for the record that the most completed version...
Oh, I should make it clear. What I meant when I said SNES Mini, I don't mean like the one that's coming out soon. I mean the redesigned SNES 101 model that came out in like 1995.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
How good is Star Fox?
It has better RGB on it, so that's so I modded one, and that's what I'll be using for my SNES footage from now on. I rather enjoy Star Fox 2. It's a great game.
Yeah, it is.
But then again, I'm one of those weirdos who likes Star Fox 1 the most, so take that with a grain of salt.
Well, I guess that answers my question.
I was
gonna ask, well, what do you think of Star? Do you think it's better than Star Fox 1?
Like, there's some things I really like in Star Fox 2. Like, I think it's basically Star Fox Command done right in many ways. Because I don't know, I remember Star Fox Command having difficulty balancing issues where it was like really hard.
Yeah.
But that was like when I played it back when it came out, which was a long time ago, and when I was not nearly as experienced with shooting games.
I think the big problem I found was with just some of the enemies you faced, like they just were bullet sponges. Like that one big fish in the Aquas level, dear God, it took a million lasers to take that thing down. It was like his weak spot were just these little things at the end of each one of his fins that were like the size of a gnat. Oh God.
So it was kind of like the Great Commander from Star Fox 1.
Yeah.
Where you have those little targets you gotta shoot at. That's the one. Like, in some ways, Route 3 is my favorite because I really enjoy the challenge in that, but in other ways it's my least favorite because of, you know, stuff like that. The bosses in there are like they're kind of like Monarch Dordora and the Great Commander are the two bosses where it's like, what the hell is going on here?
And then
So, Alexander, I'm not a huge fan of Star Fox 64. I would gladly play Star Fox 2 over Star Fox 64, personally. I think that game is I don't know, I'd say it's definitely above average. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it, but, like, I feel like Star Fox 2 would have been a much better sequel if it had come out instead.
Do you think...
Since it, you know, actually developed on the gameplay and didn't just refine what was already there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do you think that the fact that Star Fox 64 is essentially just a remake of Star Fox, the original Star Fox, do you think that harms it?
See, people say the same thing about Zero, but apparently Star Fox 64 gets a free pass. Just because nobody has played the original Star Fox, so therefore it doesn't count as a game or something like that.
That's what it is.
Oh, I'm not gonna go straight out and say that, because there are legitimately good points to Star Fox 64, I can't deny that. But at the same time, I feel like I think Assault is better, I think the original is better. I think, honestly, I prefer Zero just because I like the extra degree of control of that game. And how they sort of built the bosses and stages around that.
Too. Like me and Gavin were completely alone on that.
Do I have audio issues, folks? Well, because Jeb is saying I do.
Jeb.
My friend, how about a hint on gliding?
What?
You bet.
So is Black Hooded Gamer, is he a regular around here?
Yeah, he's Jeb the Black Hooded Gamer. He's I don't know where you'd know him from, but he's in the same group as like Jay and Metropolis Zone and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of that clubhouse, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh.
That clubhouse that I'm tangentially involved in.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jay's roped you in with the rest of the loonies now.
Oh yeah.
You got
Well,
this thief over here.
Yeah, I must admit though, like the original, like I think it was Sly 4 Vita Part 3, that was like a legendary stream just because we just went off, we were just bouncing off each other for like 4 hours straight.
And Gavin got mad, and that was funny, I guess.
That was Part 4, right? Part 5 or something, I don't know. It wasn't that part though.
Did you even test this game, Sanzaru?
It was so funny. Except for that part where I was like,
Oh, Jeb's almost to the Hot 100. It took me like a year to get to. Congratulations, my friend. Yeah, it took a while.
It took me about a year as well. It takes everybody a year to get 100 subscribers.
Yeah, because it's just how YouTube works, I guess. Can't be noticed if no one's noticed you.
I guess it's also too, like, nobody really gives the time of day to somebody with less than 100 subscribers.
Yeah, it's a big cyclical annoyance.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Oh, yeah,
By the way, link on some of the extended universe material or whatever, this is actually where Spyro is born, Stonehill.
Mm-hmm. I think I read something about that.
Yeah. It was on the wiki, anyway. Oh, I knew I missed one over here.
Possibly on a website.
Alright. So now we got this chest down here and a dragon. That should wrap up this level.
Probably the best thing about this game, just looking at it.
Oh, Super Tony the Tiger 64. You were saying?
Yeah. It's just like, because of the lack of like draw distance, like you can just surround your, or just look around your area and just like, oh, is there a twinkle over there? Okay, I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why
That's kind of a neat... Oh, pro tip for this first world, normally I'd like to use the exit level feature to get out, but for this first world, in order to go to the boss level, you do have to take the exits. I don't know why. The last world does the same thing.
That's weird.
Oh, it's like that dragon in front of the big dragon head that takes you to Toasty says, you can't go fight the boss until you've beaten all the levels, Spyro, but they don't count as beaten unless if you actually go through the portal at the end.
That is a bit weird.
Yeah.
It makes some sense.
Woo! Let's see. Well, I guess a couple more people filtered in. I didn't advertise this one as well. It was kind of like, if I didn't do it today, then I wouldn't be able to do it for the foreseeable future. And I kind of need to buckle down on the Conquer video. I'm a little behind on that. Let's see.
I'm a little bit behind on my Crash 2 review. That's gonna be fun. It's like whenever a script exceeds 10,000 words, I stop thinking to myself, "Oh God."
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that feeling.
Well, I know that feeling because that's what it's like for almost all my reviews are like at least 30 minutes long. But you've made like several hour-long videos, and it's just like Super Mario 64 DS nearly killed me.
Right.
So I don't know how you've done like several of them. How Jay has done several of them. It's like, what?
Well,
it was like non-stop editing for like days upon days just to finish Super Mario 64.
Well, you also mentioned you had like pretty much nightmares of color correcting, right?
Yes, that is true. For those of you in the chat, I had nightmares where I was like literally dreaming about the Sony Vegas interface in my head. And I had another additional obstacle, which was I upgraded to Magic's Vegas Studio 14, the latest version of the software. But the latest version of the software, they took out the disable resample feature because by default. What?
You're shitting me. They actually took out disable resample?
Yes, they did that. And they only put it back in because I put a post in the forum thread that said, "Why'd you guys take this out?" And a bunch of people were like, "Yeah, what the hell are you thinking?" And then it took them like 2 months to put it back in. So I didn't have the disable resample feature available when I was editing Super Mario 64 DS. But I wanted some of the new features and some of the performance upgrades, so I wasn't about to go back to 11. So what I had to do is I had to basically shove everything through Virtual Dub and resample it to 60 frames per second. So that all the frames would be there when I put it into Movie Studio. Which was just like an unnecessary step. It's just like little things like that held the video back for like ever. Let's see. Alright, so one of the things I like about this level is that there's like a second upper level to it you can find with a well-timed, well-directed jump.
The jump that took me like a million years to get when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped at gaming when I was like 8 years old. Because this was
funny you should say that.
This was the first 3D game like I played like ever, and so this is the introduction to 3D. So I couldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
Saying the first 3D game I ever played, and I played it in 2003. It just goes to show you how poor I was.
Yeah. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. We all had our upbringings that were maybe not how we would have liked.
One thing I always found interesting about the sequels is that this game you have like the chests, and you have those things with the spinning wheels on them, and so it's like sometimes getting items in the stage was kind of like a little mini challenge you'd get. And then you get to the sequels and it's just open baskets. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm done the level. Oh, speaking of which, you're Canadian, right, TGX?
Indeed.
So is it common for people to say, "I'm done this thing," rather than "I'm done with this thing"?
I've never heard anybody have an issue with it.
Oh, so what do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean is like, there really is. I've never heard anybody like get mad at saying either one is like, you know, I'm done this thing. I've never. It's just kind of like a personal.
Oh, I'm just asking if which would be more common from your experience.
Like common. Probably I'm done this thing.
Yeah. See, that's because like that's one of those weird things I've noticed, because like Clement does that, where he'll always say, "I'm done this thing," and I'm used to hear I'm from the States, obviously, so I'm used to hearing people say, "I'm done with this thing."
I think maybe it's just our minds moving to contraction and just easier things. I don't know.
That's possible.
Sorry, I misunderstood your question at first there.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, well, no problem. Maybe I didn't phrase it right.
Just out of curiosity, where does the first Spyro game, where does that stack up in your
I'm pretty much in the same boat as you, all the way when it comes to the original trilogy. So, my top favorite is Spyro 3, followed by Spyro 1, and then Spyro 2 is my personal least favorite.
Yeah.
But still a fantastic game.
And then below that, everything else.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that the GBA games follow closely behind the original trilogy for me. And they just got steadily better as they went along. Like, I can enjoy many aspects about Season of Ice, but has a couple little design quirks that kind of drag the whole thing down.
Which makes sense, it was a first attempt.
Yeah, but in terms of taking everything from the original trilogy and, transitioning it to the GBA, I thought they did a wonderful job.
I felt that the isometric viewpoint did kind of have its own little issues, though.
I mean, I played through all 3 of them recently, and I didn't really have much trouble with that. Like, compared... Like, there are a couple of little things, little design choices they do that kind of help balance that out. Like, you'll notice that some of the higher-level platforms are colored differently. Like, they do that just to sort of show you, oh, if you're trying to jump at it from... Like, if you're at the top left of the screen and you can see a platform in the bottom right, based on the way they color it, you know that, oh, that's too high for me to jump to it, so I shouldn't jump to that.
That's something I never noticed.
Yeah.
Clever. I think...
And...
One...
Yeah, in the later games, they add in, like, the camera movement that you can do. Actually, the first one had that. I'm thinking of the map. They add a map that sort of shows you where everything is.
I think one thing that would have really helped those games, though, is falling off a ledge, don't make it an instant kill.
That was only a Season of Ice, really, that did that. Like, Season of Flame, usually... Well, I think it did have a lot of water, but...
Because I... Was it Season of Flame? That was... I think that was the one I played. My sister got that for me for Christmas when I was, like, 10 or something. And yeah, I do remember it being kind of frustrating that just the way because I couldn't see I couldn't judge the distances very well because of the isometric viewpoint, and so it did kind of lead to some unfair deaths, which I won't necessarily say is a bad design choice. It's just a matter of the limitations of the system.
Spyro.
I'm done, Sonic Heroes! Exo, the only guy who ignores the chat but still talks about great stuffs. What's my opinion on Infinite's theme? I'd have to listen to it, I guess. And he just looks like... Everybody wants me to do the Insane Trilogy for some reason.
Well, you know, I guess it's well documented that you're a Spyro fan, so maybe they're like, oh, well, maybe he's a Crash fan as well.
Yeah, personally, I am not. Let's see, Infinite's theme. I mean, I think Crash is just okay, personally. It's... Yeah. Let's see.
While I disagree with that, I do kind of... I can see why you'd think that.
Like, I feel like the best levels in those games are the 2D ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the game, you could easily remake all the levels from those games in isometric 2D.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't feel like it was really pushing the whole 3D thing as much as other games at the time were. And the level design is just kind of bleh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Infinite. What the hell is this?
What the hell, indeed?
This is Sonic music.
Sounds like metal dubstep, which is like taking a shit on a cake.
Oh boy, that's what you call an everything but the kitchen sink kind of game. Like, they're just... Yeah. Alright, back to the stream. Oh shit!
Forgot to turn the volume down.
I left my phone volume turned up. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go finish Dark Hollow, it's called, which is the name of the final level from Sonic and the Black Knight, which is why I always remember it. Let's see, and I think all we have left is this chest up here. One thing I really enjoy about Spyro 1 in particular is just how straightforward and focused it is.
Straightforward, focused, but it's also super, like, just chill.
Yeah, this is a game you can play to relax.
Yeah. But it still has, like, a lot of aspects that, you know, it still has a good challenge to it at times. Yeah, it's still...
Find the computer room!
has a good, nice difficulty curve.
Yeah, it does. But wait till we get to treetops. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's...
But, I don't know.
The one time that the game really kind of steps away from what I like about it.
Yeah, but... I don't know. I know at this point just to follow the thief right away and get that over with so you can focus on the rest of the stage. Looks like I'm missing a couple gems in the hub. Alright, we're gonna go take on Toasty.
I think those are the gems on the bridge to the balloonist. I don't think you got those. Also, I need to do this. Toasty!
Toasty!
Which I think was a joke I made in the review.
Looks like Nick Anako Magna wants to join at some point too. Yeah. I assume you know him, right?
What's his channel?
Nick Anako Magna?
Not familiar, sorry.
Yeah, I mean he's also a reviewer, but he's also a published comic artist.
Oh, sweet.
He's a self-published comic artist. He wrote he wrote and drew his own books, and they're up for sale on the Amazon Marketplace and for print on demand. It's called Planet Ripple. It's about a girl who has both autism and has bodily disabilities as well. Kind of trying to make it in a post-apocalyptic water world. And it's really good. I would recommend it if you haven't.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh god, without Spark, this game's impossible.
Nah. Let's see. Now, I owned an N64 back in the day as well, but I think I'd say that, like, again, it goes back to this thing of this central point of focus. I've always admired how focused the Spyro games are in terms of level design and just how straightforward everything is. I've been replaying Banjo-Tooie, which is a fun game, and I really enjoy, Banjo-Kazooie as well. But, Spyro has much more content for your buck than those games do. Those games are all about kind of the exploration, whereas with Spyro you get more levels, you get more mini games, you get, I guess, a more interesting presentation in some ways. I've always admired how big these games were. Like, as someone who grew up with like the Mario collectathons, finding out that Spyro 3 had 150 eggs in it kind of blew my mind. Because that seemed like way too big. Because I was used to games that only had like maybe 90 total collectibles in it. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now.
And the exploration, there was exploration. It was integrated into the core gameplay.
I wasn't saying that. I just mean like if you go play Banjo-Tooie and you play like Grunty Industries, that's kind of a lot of what the game becomes in the second half is you just trying to find your way around. Whereas with Spyro, it's more like the exploration boils down to something like Town Square, where you jump around that corner to find a hidden upper level, right?
It's beautiful in its simplicity, I think, is the point.
Yes, that's exactly it. Very replayable, this first game in particular.
Yeah. Although you are doing probably one of the most boring aspects of the game, the bosses, or in this case, a boss.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things the sequels improved.
Absolutely.
Alright, we got Toasty. That should take care of that. Looks like we're... Oh, there they are. We'll go to Sunny Flight, and we'll call it a sesh.
Yeah.
I'm going to be splitting up... Well, what I mean by that, folks, in the chat, is I'm going to be splitting up sessions by world in terms of recordings, and just to make it easier to upload to YouTube later, because I've been having to do this thing where I've basically had to use a converter to split like a giant 3-hour-long, 7-hour-long video into parts. And I think it will be easier to do it the way I have in mind. It took me forever to figure out how those stones work in one of my recent playthroughs.
Yeah. And
one thing I would recommend for you, Mr. G.I. John, when you get Spyro 3, get the greatest hits version.
Yeah.
Because the original release has a couple of interesting quirks due to the game being kind of rushed. It's nothing major, but it's just like instead of the final boss theme, it plays the first hub world theme, which is really weird. And I think the Crystal Islands song is missing or something like that.
Yeah, there are a few
weird though.
A few themes they reused, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and apparently those themes were on the disc. It was just like some kind of glitch where it played the wrong track. What did I'm gonna have to... Oh, no, I did finish them. Okay, I need to pay more attention. Okay. One thing that is interesting is these games play surprisingly well with the D-pad.
Yeah, that's one thing that always really surprised me, is just it manages such smooth, clean controls with such a primitive control scheme.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing with the DualShock 2 right now, which is backwards compatible with the original PlayStation. But yeah, I also have all 3 games on my PSP, and obviously for God's sake, the PlayStation emulation on the PSP does not allow you to use analog control. So it basically forced me to use the D-pad, and I was surprised at how well it worked.
What the hell just happened?
I think I hit the slope and then I kind of lost control there. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the flying sections until the 3rd game, honestly. Because I hate how you have like a fixed time, or you have not very much time from the beginning and then you get time from getting other things. Yeah. Spyro 3, they just go the route where you have all the time in the world right off the bat, and you get gems from, I liked that a lot better.
Yeah. I always thought the act of getting the gems from the objects was just infinitely more satisfying than getting just a little piece of time. Actually seeing yourself get the gems.
Alright, I got the gates. And after the gates will be the airplanes. This is the one thing that I might have wanted, maybe should have practiced beforehand. Because when it comes to these speedways, these flight games, for the first 2 games specifically, they expect you to take a very particular route to finish in time. And that's not an especially obvious route sometimes.
Well,
if I'd practice, I'd know beforehand.
Still more obvious than the routes in the speedways in Enter the Dragonfly.
Oh God.
That was probably the worst part of those games.
The racing minigames in that game specifically, because they bring back the racing from 3. But it's like so terrible because some of the guys you race against are so slow that you end up passing them multiple times, and that's really annoying when you think you're about to get to 1st place, but oh no, it's the guy in 8th place. You just passed him a 2nd time.
Question: what's your? Do you have a record that you've paid attention to in beating the first hub world in this game?
Yeah, usually it takes me about half an hour to 45 minutes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, though.
Because I do.
Let's read chat again. Favorite Spyro game is Spyro 3.
Along with me.
Let's see. I like how the final boss in Final Fantasy 1 played the normal theme. That's only the NES version. If you play the superior remakes, which have better graphics and better game balancing, then you will not have... Then it will actually have its own boss theme. And the regular bosses will have their own theme as well. Alright, so...
I do have a story about this, though, because when I was originally reviewing... Why
don't we save that for the next session? I'm just gonna start a new recording real quick, and then we can pick up.
Okay.
Let's see, scale to window. Alright, folks, the stream is not ending, we're just starting a new recording real quick.
Hello?